Welcome back to Ayaz Tech. My name is Ayaz Zafar, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to create sortable drag and drop UI by using purely HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So as you can see here, that whatever you are going to make will look like this. So this is what we have made in this video. So you can see that you can drag and drop in any list, and you can also change the order by sorting like this. So this UI looks like a to-do task list. So it would be very interesting video for you. So before we begin, I want to say you that please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click on the bell icon so that you don't miss any notifications from my channel. So let's begin. Let's create a file index.html and let's add some basic HTML to start. And now we need two files, one for CSS and second for the JavaScript. So, and we need script.js. So let's add styles here. We will add a link tag and we need to add auth. And at the end, we will add the script tag to import the JavaScript file. Okay. Now let's start designing a basic structure for the layout that we are going to implement. So we need four columns, to do, in progress, and to do in progress, and done, and closed. So let's do that. First of all, we need a main container, and let's add some style. Actually, let's open this in the browser first. So I'm going to add style for the container, width 100%, height 100%, background color. mm, let's try this one. Let's see if it is being implemented or not. Uh, yeah, color is the styles are implemented, but it is not visible yet because it is not taking the height of the body of the view. And the reason is that the parent, that is body and HTML, are not 100% in height. So we need to change their height as well to the 100%. Okay, now we need to remove the margin of the body and HTML. All right. Now we need to create the columns inside here. We can call them list, and as we need four lists, actually let's add some heading here to do in progress, in review and done. Okay. So I needed to add the float left because it was adding a strange white space on the top because of the elements I added in them. So, okay, and let's add a Google font. I want to find the Roboto font. Actually, it is right here. So let's add it. Okay. Now you can see that on the right side, it has generated a link for us to embed in the HTML. I will just paste it here. And now it is also giving me the font family name. I will just copy from there and I will add it here. You can see that now font family is applied. Next, we need actually right now it is showing in horizontally, vertically. We need to align them uh, in one row horizontally. So for that, we will need to add the display flex to the container. Flex direction should be row. So you can see that now it is in one row. So we also need a padding around the container. And okay, now uh, I want to align heading to the center. Okay. Next, I want to, for every list, I want to add some background gray color. So, hmm, it is not looking good at all. Okay. If we add this style border box sizing is equal to border box, then it will not break the layout like before. It has added a scroll, but now there is no scroll and it is working as expected. So now we need actually instead of using flex one, we let's add a fixed width in percentage. For example, these are 4. Let's try add the width 30%. Maybe instead of 30, let's say 20% and see how it looks like. Okay. Now we need to add equal spaces between every list. So space, so justify content. Let's try space between. Okay, yeah, that is perfect. I am trying to increase the width a little bit further. It is too much. Okay, it's fine. The background color is too dark. Uh, I want to decrease its intensity. Okay. And the font size for the heading is too much. I'm going to decrease it as well. Okay. Let's try to add some border radius to see how it looks like with the radius. Yeah, it's better than before. So next we need cards in this list. So every card represent to our task. So this is the container where we will drag and drop the cards or elements. And I'm adding in some dummy title and description to fill the space. I'm going to get some dummy text from internet. So it has generated a paragraph. I'm going to copy it. This is too much. I want to decrease the description. Okay. Now we need to design the card. Okay. Also, there should be a padding outside margin or padding in the list. So we have padding now, but we also need padding inside the card as well. Okay. And we should also add border radius. This is too much. Let's try to add 5 pixel and see how it looks like with that. Yeah, it's better now. So let's add some style to title of the card. Okay, I guess it's better. So now uh, we want to make it draggable. Right now, if I hold click and drag, it just selects the text, and but it does not show any behavior of the dragging. So to add dragging behavior, you need to add an attribute draggable and true. Let's see what you can see that now it has added a natively very beautiful feature that if you drag and then it shows like this. But right now, as we did not implement the tracking feature properly, that is why if you leave here, it will move it back. So next, I'm going to create a few more elements here. Task number 2, task number 3. We need to add some margin bottom because it is not looking good right now. So margin bottom should be 10 pixels. Okay, great. We let's try to add some shadow as well. Box shadow, 2 pixel, 2 pixel, 5 pixel. I'm going to try to make it little bit darker. I guess it's better now. So let's try to add the same shadow to the list as well to see if that makes it better or not. Uh, I want to make it a little bit darker for the list. Yeah, it's fine. Actually, maybe we don't need shadow for the list because it is now looking too much. So we have 3 tasks in to do, and let's add few tasks in other list as well. Task number 5, 6, 7, and task number 8. Okay, so I guess now styling is enough. Now we should start working on the functionality in JavaScript. So whenever we start dragging it, then we should apply a class dragging so that we can add some styling to that element that is being dragged. So I'm going to add a style that card that has a class dragging on it. It should change the opacity of that element to 0.4. Right now, you will not see that change because we did not add the class yet, but we will add it shortly with the JavaScript. So first of all, we need to select all of the elements that are being dragged. So actually, there is just one element that is being dragged. You cannot drag more than one element at the same time. So document dot get element by but actually instead of get element by ID, we will use the query selector. No, actually we need all draggable elements because we want to register an event for every draggable event. So whenever you start dragging to any element, we will apply the dragging class on it. So let's see, we have the class card that we want to drag. So I will add card. And as we want to select all of the cards that are available, so I will use the query selector R all, and let's store these all of these cards in a variable. Now we also need the all of the lists so that we can register events against all of those lists. Document.query selector all, and the class is the list. Next, let's start a loop, cards for each, and we will receive card in this parameter. Now we need to register some events against the cards. I'm going to create a function register function events on cards on card, and I will call this function for every card. Now here I will write my logic. So I want to add, as this is the DOM element, I can call a function add event listener, and here we will use the event name drag start, and here I will pass a function, and it will give me an event. So whenever we start dragging, we need to add the class dragging to that card that is being dragged. So let's add that class card dot uh, class list dot add uh, dragging, and whenever we stop uh, dragging for that element, we need to remove that class drag and remove dragging. So let's experiment this and let's see if it is working fine or not. So I will open an inspect element on the right side of actually let's keep it um, okay. Mm, okay, now it's fine, I guess. Hmm, okay, this is better. So now I want to see if I drag an element, then it should have the dragging class on it. For example, this is the element. Right now you can see there is no class dragging on it. If I start dragging, you can see that now there is a class dragging on it, right? All right. Next, I feel that there should be a little bit more padding in the list. So I want to improve it a little bit. So let's try. So in the list right now we have 10 pixel. Let's try 20 pixel and see. Um, it has increased the width of the list. Yeah, now it's better. We need to add the box sizing, border box. In this way, the padding will not consume the width. It will be added internally. So that is very nice feature of the CSS. Okay, so as we have seen that when you start dragging, it changes the opacity of the element that is being dragged. So that looks cool. I want to try to reduce the intensity of the background color of the list. It is too dark, I guess. I guess it is better. So I want to increase the margin bottom. I guess it's fine. Okay, so next we will continue in the JavaScript. So we need to register event for every list so that it can listen for drag over event. So whenever you drag your card over any list, then the list should listen to that and it should implement some logic on it. So like cards, we will add a for each for the list as well. So here for every list, I want to add an event, add event listener, and the event name is drag over. So whenever we drag over any list, then it will immediately add that element to that list. So for now, before going to the complex direction, for now I will just show you how to append it whenever you drag it there. So to append it, list that dot append child, and we need the element that is being dragged. As you know that at one time you can drag only one element. You cannot drag more than one element at the same time. So uh, I will select the element that has the dragging class. Okay, so document dot query selector and add the class dragging. Let dragging element is equal to instead of element I will call it dragging card, and I will add it inside the append child function. And now let's see if that is working. You can see that I have uh, successfully dragged it to the in progress. I also, there is a strange thing that happens when you drag here, then this list seems to be going back to that list, but it does not like this. So that is not, so maybe that is because of the prevent default. Maybe I need to add the prevent default. So let's try. Yeah, that fixed that issue. Now it is working normally. When you leave, when you take your mouse anywhere, it will append that child in that list. So that is working perfectly. But right now, the sorting feature is not working because, for example, you want to put it before the complete header design. You want to put it between the task number 2 and the complete header design task. And you cannot do right now because we did not implement that feature. So for now, for example, you drag this task here and you move it uh, here, then we want to add it in the between of these two tasks. That so here you want to get the card that is uh, after this dragging element. So after this dragging element, the next element, that next card is this one. So we want to get this card. So for that, I will create a new function, get get card after dragging card. So after dragging card, we want a card that is after dragging card. So this will expect two parameters. One is the list where we are dragging and the y value of the dragging card. So I will just pass it and I will call it here. Let card after dragging card is equal to this. And here I want to pass the list that I have and I want to pass the y value of the element that is being dragged. So So this property will give us the y value where we have the tracking card. It will give us the position of the list where we are dragging the card right now. So we will check if we have tracking card available. If we found if we found the card where we want to uh, that we want, then we will do something like this: list insert before, and here I will pass the dragging card here, and next I will pass the card before I want to insert. Okay, and then I will add else condition, and this append child would go in the else condition. Okay, next we need all of the cards that are available in this content in this list. So let list card is equal to. So this has multiple. So this list has uh, multiple cards in it. We can, as we can get it with the query selector, but query selector does not give us pure array. So if we need pure array because we want some array related tasks here. So for that, I will use I will use this array symbol and I will add spread operator, and in the here I will add list dot query selector all, and here I will pass the selector for the card. So in this way, it will give me all of the cards within this list. Now I have the list cards. I will use a reduce function, and here closest card, I will expect two parameters. One, I will name the first parameter as a closest card, and the second parameter would be the next card from the array. So So first of all, we need a rectangle of the JavaScript with the help of the get bounding client rect. So let's create that. Next card rect is equal to next card dot get bounding client rect. So we have this rectangle now. This is the an object of JavaScript, and now we need offset. Uh, we need offset from the uh, next card. Let offset is equal to wire dragging card minus next card rect dot top minus. So we want to so whenever we want to detect whenever the position of this dragging card is in the middle of this in the center of this card, task number 2, then we should decide that we should insert it after this. Okay, so that's mean we need to insert it when the dragging card is in the center of the height of this card. Okay, so for that we will use the next card rect dot height divided by 2. In this way, it will give me the half value of the height. Now, I will use if condition. If actually before if I want to pass a default value to the reduce, here offset. So this is the plan. When you hover your mouse over here, if your card is above this card, so for example, if your card is for example, if your card is above the task number 6 card, then the offset value would be negative. But if your card is below this card, below the center, then the value will start to become in positive. So, so in the start, for example, if you are trying to put this card in before the first card of this list, then 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 at that case we want to pass a default offset because at this time there is no card at this position. So I will just add number dot negative infinity. In this way it will give me a very large number in the negative, and in this way it will never break the condition. So now if offset is less than 0 and offset is greater than next card, actually the closest card dot offset. So if this is the case, then we will return this card in an object offset, and here I want to pass the element that would be next card, and in the else condition I would just return this closest card. And here after reducing it I will have an object. So in that object I have the property element. So if it goes inside such condition where we don't have element, then it will return the undefined. And if it is undefined, then it will go inside this condition. So now let's return this one. Okay. So I hope this is done now. So let's try. No, it is still not done. There is error in the console. So I am trying to debug it. Let's see what happens. Okay, I realize that there are two issues that we need to take care of. So first one, when you select a card from this list, it gives you all of the cards, even the card that is being dragged, because that was part of that list. So we need to exclude the card that has the class tracking on it. So we can exclude with the help of not. And the second thing is that uh, instead of using this list in this way directly, as we are trying to insert before this element, so we will use pick up this element and we will add parent node. In this way, we are giving the parent node of this element so that we can insert in that parent. So let's try. So you can see that it is working perfectly now. You can put it anywhere. Before task number 7, after task number 7, below task number 6, between task number 5 and 6, it is working perfectly fine. So that's awesome. All right, I think that's all I wanted to show you in this video. So if you liked my video, then please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, click on the bell icon, and like, comment, and share my video. Thank you for watching my video. Hope to see you in the next time. Thank you.